they call it symphonic. Whoop, there I am. No matter what I do, this phone always seems to be on. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another World of Synth with me, your host, Gaz'nJerv. Welcome, welcome, one and all. The cat is in here too. I'm still full of cold. I have doubled up on my beverages. One contains medicinal, the other not. Although maybe it does. Of a different sort. Anyway, how are we all doing? Welcome, welcome. It's a bustling chat already. Let me see. Crikey, it's been going for a little while. So, hello, Biscuit. Hello, Alex. Thanks for the tip about Major... Oh, I can't remember the name of the band. The cardiac-flavoured band, who actually I've been listening to over the weekend whilst I was doing some chores. Actually, woodworking, if you will. They reminded me more of the Cardiac's kind of family projects rather than Cardiac specifically. Sort of, North Sea Orchestra, even the Sea Nymphs and Tim Smith's Ocean World Land, and definitely William D. Drake kind of stuff. So, yeah, it was nice. I really enjoyed that. So thank you for the tip on that one, Alex. Andy, yeah, great. Enjoyed your set last night. Hardware Jams. Part of the Jam fam now, apparently. Felt really good to actually manage to get an entry in over the weekend whilst setting up for Synths bedtime, crikey. That's not a completely different thing. For doing the Synths, what am I talking about? Jamming in Gym Jams. So I was setting up for jamming in. I thought, you know what, I could just quickly, whilst I'm setting this up, get something going. So I did. I managed to get it in, and it was featured, and it was great. It was great to be part of the fam, and such warm welcome. So if you've sat on the fence and thought to yourself, do you know, I've got all this gear. I like making tunes. What do I do with it? And you need a little bit of, a little bit of encouragement. I mean, that is the ideal place to do it, is because it's such a warm and inviting and inclusive kind of space that everyone is welcome, and new members all the time. So it's a growing thing. So get in now, enjoy, and it's nice to be able to write something with a theme. It was a tricky theme. So, your interpretation of that theme is as much fun as you would like it to be, but it's about making something quickly, turning around an idea within a time frame, within a length, so the project can't be longer than 5 minutes, or the track can't be longer than 5 minutes, which I like, kind of long, expansive, sort of developing tracks. So 5 minutes for me seems like I've just about got going. So, so that was kind of fun to be able to do that. Really enjoyed it. And yeah, the track is on my channel, so if you want to listen to that. But I'll put a link in this. I think I've already put a link in the description of this, of that episode of Hardware Jams. And big, massive thanks to INKY for putting me onto Hardware Jams, because it was last year when I started doing live streams, and unfortunately I just didn't have I couldn't get the momentum last year to keep this going. And this year, for whatever reason, it's just worked for me. So last year I tried, and I don't know, we spoke really early on in the process, and I was like, right, I can't do Wednesday, I can't do this night, I can't do that. I'm going to do Mondays. And she goes, you don't do Mondays. Mondays is Hardware Jams. I said, what's that? So I went and watched Hardware, tucked in, and thought, this would be a really cool, fun thing to do. So so Tuesday is because of INKY, and that will always be fond in here. So thank you, INKY, for that. And also thank you for Hardware Jams, because I thoroughly enjoyed it. So I think we talked in the summer about me doing it in August, and obviously September's kind of very close. But obviously, yeah, we lost her too soon. So she lives on with us, right? She lives on with us, and that's amazing. She was such an enthusiastic lover of our scene. So we will make sure that lives on within everything, and everything that she has touched and been part of. We will take her with us and carry her here. That purple heart beating strong. So, hello, Electric. Hello, Albanian Syndicate. Hello, sir. Robbie, how you doing? Thank you again. Big shout out for me on your show on Friday. Much appreciated. And good show as always. Definitely. Wagyu, how you doing? Biscuit. I've already said Biscuit again. Lots of good chat going on here. Trusto, welcome to the channel. A lurker, but now out in the chat. Nice to have you. Nice to have you. And some good chat, some good stuff on your channel too. So yeah, check that out if you don't already know stuff. Tom, how you doing? Thomas, did I see you in there as well, or was that earlier? Hey, M. Yes, you're here. You're not streaming yourself. Anyway, so there it is. I think that's everybody that's popped up. And if you're lurking in the background or you're watching this, Simon, there we are. Hello, man with beard. Man without razor, someone said. I don't know who that was. But just because you got a beard doesn't mean you don't. I own a razor. I have actually 2 razors and an electric shaver. I mean, it's a thing, right? You've got to keep it trim. You've got to look after your facial hair. It's a definite thing to get up in the morning and go, do I need anything today? Shall I just trim a little bit of scissors, or shall I use a little bit of trimmage there? That's good and fun. So there we go. Don, how you doing? Welcome aboard. Peter, good to see you. And yeah, Peter, it was you in February. Again, I don't know if I've said this before, but it was your chat that we had in SynthEast. And Biscuit, I know you've just seen my SynthEast thing. And yes, Synth, I just read the comment. SynthWest is Bristronica. So that's coming in a month. Is it 4 weeks? But yeah, so our conversation, thank you for that, because that really encouraged me to get this back up and running and stick with it this time. So yeah, thank you again. Lots of thanks tonight. And isn't that nice? Thank you. Yeah, thank you all for being here tonight on a Tuesday, whilst I'm a little ill-prepared, full of cold, with Lemsip. What's buzzing? Oh, Instagram. You know, I've also had a Strepsil. Strepsil. It sounds like a Welsh thing, doesn't it? What do you have when you got a cold? I have a Strepsil. Yeah, Strepsil and Lemsip, innit? They sound very Welsh. I mean, I don't know, that's a kind of Valleys accent, isn't it? I'm from North Wales. Most of my family, both sides of my family are North Walian anyway. It's always a bit more like that, isn't it? And I also, you go towards Liverpool and you start talking like that, and that's a Wrexham accent there now. So if you ever wonder what people talk like from Wrexham, I say, it's Wrexham accent. Give it some airtime. All right, Gaz, how you doing, mate? I'm good, yeah? How are you? All right, I'm great. So there we go. I could speak like that. Gaz almost speaks like that. If he's in the chat, he's not in there. He's not in the chat. But I hope if he watches this, or someone tells him, he's ripping you. I've known Gaz an awfully long time. 1988, we met in the common room. Incredible. So, Laz, hey, how are you doing, Laz? Cornish, how you doing? Enjoyed your last night as well. DJ Normal Norman. I did a tune with my Roland U110 called I'm Norman, and it was normal. So you featured in my life many years ago. I will have to try and dig that track out and play it one night, because it's fun. But it was me being a bit mental with my sampler and my U110. The U110 sounds are pretty shocking, but it was a bit of a manic track anyway. That was back in the 90s, crikey. Simon Schultze, how you doing? Good to see you. Eddie was just streaming a minute ago, and I was like literally just setting up in here, and I came back and there was comments to me, and I was like, it had ended, it had been deleted, so that's a shame. I quite enjoy Eddie's stuff. He streams sometimes when I'm in work, and it sort of pops up, and I listen to it because it's nice, really kind of chill sort of background stuff that enables me to carry on working without being distracted, you know, and it really helps. Did somebody say hi, Gaz, then? All right, La, how you doing? You all right? Oh, the stories I could tell of we got into so much trouble when we were in college because we would saunter. Actually, we wouldn't. We'd be with a little bit of a wiggle on. We wouldn't eat food. Actually, this makes sense now. Think about it. I must have eaten stuff. I would have not missed a meal. I love food. But we would walk all the way from the race course, which is Yale College in Wrexham. We walk all the way down to Wrexham Centre, and we go in there to raise underground music, and we'd start with our mate Paul, and Paul was our guru. And I know Gaz told me last week that you'd actually reached out to Paul. I mean, I've seen Paul, and we've talked about this as well. You know, before the internet, some of us, I think the majority of us, will remember a time before the internet Where did the information come from? It came from people who had a knowledge of things, and it was their knowledge it was revered. So when you met someone who could fill a little void in your life of what's this, then that would be that was kind of an important. And I remember, I think I may even have mentioned this with Paul. I did my work experience when I was 16 at the shop. 15, I saw my first vintage guitar, and I was just completely bowled over guitars. And actually, at the time, I think a Korg rep came in as well, which maybe, I think there was. And the Korg rep did he bring in the DSS-1? Or was the DSS-1 left there, and I then later came? So we're talking 1986, which is the right time, isn't it? 86, 87. And my first experience with it. Hey Jamie, how you doing? With samplers was the Korg, and I owned 2 DSS-1s, and they are huge, but analog filter, 256K of memory, I think, tiny, but really cracking sounds, just that analog filter, so beautiful synthesis. So there's no wonder that the M1, right? Anyway, so we would run to this music. We'd sit with Paul and we would look at the guitars, and Gaz would be drooling over basses. I'd be drooling over guitars. And I bought a couple of Les Pauls from Paul over the years. My last one was a 1971 Deluxe. Now, obviously, that was a special year. Also I bought my first synthesizer off Paul, and it was part of my, playing guitar, writing songs, and he sold me a Korg Poly 800 Mark II, which had MIDI and a little sequencer. It was a lot of fun. And then I remember playing with an SH-101. And so basically, Paul was key in, I think, both Gaz and mine's life as our guru for all things musical. So thank you, Paul Sturman, who is still running a music shop in Wrexham called The Music Place. So if you're ever in Wrexham, go into Paul and say Jason and Gaz sent you. Anyway, let's crack on with the show. I'm waffling away. Do you know what? I don't think I've got enough. Didn't think I had enough adrenaline for tonight, but for whatever's happening, it's kicking in. So Lemsip, full of cold still, strong coffee. What's everyone drinking tonight? I'm drinking, once again, week 2. Ah, yeah. Thanks, Gaz. Yeah. Truestart coffee. Did you hear that? That was Jackson. Jackson was giving us a full endorsement of Truestart Signature Roast Coffee Beans. Proud to be carbon negative. Coffee never tasted so good. So, this is a certified B Corp. It's a strength rating of 8, which we do like. Strength rating of 8. Jackson, what are you doing? You're just sitting under the desk now. No one can see you there. If no one can see you, you don't exist. I've got some treats on the table. I know if we can coax him out, but maybe we'll leave that for later. Okay, so anyway, I think I've said hello to everyone. Paul Holmes, hello. And again, Aziohead, hi, how you doing? Jamie, I've caught you as well. So hello to all of you in the chat. If I've missed you out, I do apologise. But I'll keep an eye on the chat and we'll see if we can incorporate that later as we go. So what are we drinking? Oh, Fernet. Oh, stock. I used to drink Fernet stock. Okay. So there's an Italian bitter from Milan. Well, the Fernet stock I used to drink was Slovakian, maybe even Czech. Quite bitter and dark, almost medicinal. Very nice. Argentinian. Oh, okay. So Fernet Branca with Coke. Okay. Tastes a bit like mouldy bread mixed with medicine. I think it's the same thing. I think we've been drinking the same thing. It probably turned me off alcohol because I'm still sober. Irrational Recreation, hello and welcome to the show. KV5, welcome. A Division, hello. Kosh, hello and welcome all. Le soufflé. Le soufflé. Gaz, one of Belgium's finest, yes. Sugar-free Red Bull. Okay, KB5, nice. Cool. So we all got something on the go. Davy, how you doing? Good to see you as well. Right, well, that's good. So, Chimay. Oh, Schultz, yeah, good one. What did I used to really enjoy? I mean, we toured, I think we've had this conversation before, when touring Belgium, it always got a bit messy because we'd bring more beers onto the tour bus. I do remember... No, I can't share that story. What happens on tour stays on tour, and it was messy. That's all I'm going to say. Irvin X, welcome from Spain. So, anyway, Cornish, how you doing? Did I see you already, Simon? Great batch. Yes, Symptoms of Reality. Hello. How did I miss you? Oh, yeah, there you are. Hello, everyone. Right. So, let me say, I'm going to treat this stream as a first look at the JV1080. It's not my first look at them. The JV1080, and let's do a top down. Let's talk about the star of the show. Let's meet the star of the show. Bear in mind that is this out of focus? Are we in focus? Looks a little bit. Oh, that looks a bit better. Sorry, guys. A bit of housekeeping. E made me this fox last Tuesday. She's with her mum at the moment, so she won't be watching, but I will make sure that she sees that. We've got the eagle on the table as well, and we've got a Native American bookmark there. So we're covering all bases with table decor, and there's also something here if Leigh turns up. Leigh is where I got the JV1080. I'm waiting for Leigh. So if anyone sees Leigh, put him on to me. Anyway, oh, that cute orange thing. Okay, the cute orange thing is a fox that E made me out of felt. She felted this during last week's episode of World of Synths. Isn't that cute? And she gave it to me afterwards, and that's so cute. I've got a thing for foxes. That sounded weird. She made this the week before. It looks more like the little fizz gig from is it Labyrinth fizz gig? Anyway, but it is definitely a fox. You can tell by the tail. Anyway, that's the table decor dealt with. We're going to trigger the JV with the Keystep Pro, which I can use. I've got it set up with the drums doing on channel 1, triggering channel 10, MIDI channel 10, standard MIDI sort of affair. Channel 2 becomes channel 1, 2, and 3. So I've got the first 3 instruments of any multi-patch. So we can have a little listen, but I think we can do a couple of features on this because we're just going to look at this. We're going to talk about it. We're going to remember now. Biscuit, you mentioned earlier on as one of your favourites. So I take it you have one. So please share your experiences in the chat and your memories. Eagle Space 1999. And it's the Transporter, which is one of my childhood toys. My sister and I used to watch it. I mean, the woman that used to change, series 2, right? The woman who used to change into animals and things had sideburns. But she was hot. But she had sideburns. Is that wrong? Maybe that explains us. And I think there's definitely some political reason why she had sideburns. I think Barbara Bain was threatened by her. Anyway. That's another thing. That's another story for science fiction fun times. Hey Kenneth. Season. That's what I've heard. Maya, yes, Maya. Season 1 was, but do you know what? I haven't actually. I found a channel on YouTube that streams sort of vintage series and stuff. I mean, I only remember Blake 7 vaguely as a child, and again, the woman with the skinhead frightened the life out of me as a child, so I didn't watch it. Maybe that explains something too. Anyway, I'm looking forward to watching that again. Although, yeah, Blake 7 is coming back, but they're going to destroy it because they're using modern effects. So whilst they're scanning in the original models, they're using CGI. Now I'm against that. I'd rather see the sort of effects that were originally launched with it. I don't want to see if you're gonna remake something, remake it, but with a respect for its origins. I don't know. Leave it alone. Honestly, just show it as it was. It doesn't matter. But resistance is futile. No, resistance is futile. Isn't that Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy? So I wonder if, because he was a writer, wasn't he? Douglas Adams, for science fiction. I know he did Doctor Who. Maybe he was involved in that too, because a British crew, right, with Space 1999. Resistance is futile. Throw him out the airlock. Da 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 da. I've just relived the whole scene. If you don't know that, sorry. Battlestar Galactica reboot was bang on. I am such a fan of that show because it did it justice. It took it in a very adult modern direction, and it made it work. It's fantastic. And I'm sorry that the continuation, Blood and Chrome, and all those kind of offshoots, the Caprica series didn't get its second series, because actually it was good. It was really good. And I think there's always talk about bringing that back as well, because that's how you should do it. That's how you do it. And I think I remember being in a loft in New York City, hearing someone just enthuse about Battlestar Galactica and thinking like, yeah, I watched as a kid, it was cute, there's like Boxy and there's this weird robot and then there's like Cylons and actually no, that was wrong as well. That was Tweaky from Buck Rogers in the 21st Century, another series they messed up on the second time. Anyway, but yes, lots of good. The Eagles banjo and the big, yes, brilliant. So banjos and science fiction, it works, right? Anyway, so tonight's show, this is the point, isn't it? This is what we do. We gather around, we get our drinks out, we get our cat snacks, we've got a notepad and pen, blankety blank checkbook and pen. We've got the carry on in the pocket. It's about being together, isn't it? And it's about having a common interest at the heart of the show, but actually it's letting the show take us where it needs to go. And we've got interests beyond music, and we've got interests that influence our music. And if we didn't, it would be boring. So there we go, Vogons. The Vogons are indeed Poetry Hour. So I've just seen. Hey, Cressy. Nice tune last night, by the way. Thank you again. Big up on the Jam Fam. Yeah. Link already in the description. Right. Leigh Kemp. Look what's on the desk, right? I tried to... I'm glad you're here. Are you sitting comfortably? I tried to plug in to the to the back, and one of the cables wouldn't go in. And I thought, oh, that's interesting. So I got my tweezers out. Look, are you missing something? I think this is yours. Anyway, next time I see you, I'll give you that back. But yeah, no harm, no foul. That was just like, I got under the desk. Because, of course, now, look at this. Look at this beautiful thing. I will be honest with you. I didn't have the correct tool to put straight lines in, so it's not straight. It's not true. And, it will do the job. But look at that. Perfectly mounted, vertical for our purposes. So look, I've even put like a door fur so that the cables are, yeah, I went that far. And I even made this. E and I chose this from our local home base to give it a little bit of ornamentation around. But anyway, it's like a picture frame, but I made it with by hand. So that's why some of them are. I might tidy this up, or I might just scrap the tabletop and start again. I'd like it a bit bigger. It's not quite as big as I'd like. Anyway, I've lost. I thought it was in the. Oh, okay. That's because I've thingy-majigged. So there it is. Our star of the show, Foxy Brown, is there. Look at that. So, quick audio check. Volume of that seems pretty loud in my cans. So, 1994 to 2001, and actually, I'm going to switch over to this. And this is Vintage Synth Explorer. And as you can see, it says a little bit about it here. Oh, come on. There he is. And look. Known by Ronnie Size, I may very well have sold him his JV1080 from the Bristol store. Anyway, it is an absolute, legend of a synth, of a sample and synthesis. Oh, look at that. December 94 it came out. Look at that. And I think even you can buy them now, 280 quid, 280 quid, £700. He's having a laugh. £700 for a bloody one of those. 275. Give him 50. And here we go. So, lots to read about them. An interesting reading because, as children who lived and grew through the 80s and 90s, the idea of having something realistic sounding was kind of rare, and that's good that we like what they did and what they achieved by trying to emulate real instruments, but this did it, and it came, good few years after the Korg M1, which I think was, everyone will agree with, it smashed that kind of like, that button until it was like, yeah, we can do it now. And that was it. That started the Rompler age, the age of the Rompler. It's like, ladies and gentlemen, the dinosaurs were extinct and the Romplers roamed the land. The day the Rompler, the U110, way better than a U110. Oh my God. Do you know I had a U110? Have you, awful. DJ Normal Norman, if you're still in there, I will have to now, for Cressy alone, bring out I'm Normal tune. Gaz, do you remember that? I'm Normal? I think I recorded it whilst we were living together in Neath. It's kind of, they romped the land, seeking out new bodies to create their, actually almost, on. Here we go, look. Oops, sorry, that's way loud. I mean, just the idea of having enough ROM to layer up sounds within a patch. So each patch is 4 partials. So you can have, partials can be regular waveforms. They can be sampled sounds. So obviously putting a timpani sound along with a string sound to create this it's called symphonique sound. Now I did some music for TV a long time ago and worked with a couple of other guys, and we all did a little piece each. I did one called Animal Cannibals, which I did a lot of rock guitar on, obviously. And there was one called Shark Attack, and you better believe it was on a JV1080, but I'm pretty sure this sound was the inspiration for his piece anyway. So an SC88. I sold these in Bristol when I worked in sound control. And I worked in sound control from 2000 onwards, because prior to that I was working in a computer shop. Prior to that I was working in a little music shop on the top of St Michael's Hill, which is featured in the beginning of the what's the hospital thing? It's in drama. Oh, yeah, doesn't matter. Anyway, so a little bit more history about me, which is not what we're here for. That coffee is rather good. Richard, hello. So, yeah, the idea of having something with 64 voices, so that's the polyphony, and I think it's 32-part multi-timbral as well. So, maths-wise, that's two notes per track, and you're likely to use more. But ultimately, it was quite a beast. It was on steroids, even to start with, and the word super is definitely justified in there. I couldn't agree more, Rich. Multi-timbral, why did it disappear? I've done a couple of features where I actually was in NAMM in 2020, where the Nord Wave, that's 4-part multi. Great, absolutely great. A Division, you might want to give it a go. We'll talk about why you should in a little while, but just keep an eye on it. Offer him 150 quid. You can't go wrong. I mean, it's a lot of synth for your money. XP30 JV1080 with orchestra, techno, and session cards built in. Mine also have the vocal and synth and vintage boards. It's lovely. Yeah, I think, Gary, I'm going to probably invest in some of the cards down the line. At the moment, this is definitely, it's filled a gap in my sonic arsenal. Oof, steady. Hey! And I think I certainly getting it in the table and having it in this, for me, works really well. And it was really, really good fun to be able to get out and do the hardware jam featuring this. And actually, you know, doing the jamming and gym jams. Really, really enjoyed that as well. So that's why I've got the Wagyu. Why am I not surprised by you having 3 of them? And a JV2080. Yeah. Fun to layer too. So, Nova 6-part multi-channel. Yeah, okay, cool. Andy, nice. Just do it, and we'll kind of have the bigger version of all those things. Yeah. I think if you forget for a minute that, you know, it does, oh, Jesus Christ, it does sounds like this. Because that's a non-selling point for me. As far as I'm concerned, bin, right? But it also does. Oops. You see, that's it's Jekyll and Hyde. Absolutely, as you had. That's better. So for every nasty sound, oh, here we go. There's a beautiful sound waiting, and then you've got. You know, it's weird, isn't it? It's like the best of. You know, it's got the, oh, it's those hits albums. It's got something for everybody, but that's a bad thing. Thankfully, I mean, that's not a great Rhodes. Well, at A Division, you can have that guitar, but you don't want this guitar. Oh, God. How do we do this now? Anyway, you know, but you do want this. Yeah, inhibited, yeah. It's got that. Yes, yes, Cressy. It was a tool you could buy that gave you everything you'd ever need to create any kind of music. So, people who really rinsed this out and got a lot of people, composers, film composers, actually, apparently used on the first DOS-based version of Rayman, the game Rayman. So games, you know, sort of TV, film, those kind of people. You had no notification, Andrew Brooks. Welcome. Anyway, I hope you're feeling better. I'm sort of better. So, you know, it was a tool that you would add to. So from my point of view, I wanted one of these in the 90s because I had FM synth. I had the TX81Z. I had a good couple of, a good half a dozen analog mono synths. And I also had, I had my hang on, did I have an Atari? I think the Atari went in 96, so maybe we'll talk late 90s then. So I had a PC, so I'd gone from that. And I think ultimately I was missing those kind of bread and butter sounds, those luscious pads, and those sounds that just add that kind of je ne sais quoi in the background. So buttocks clenched. Good man. I'm no keyboard player. I play guitar. That's what that thing is behind me, right? You see it? It's not for show. It's my instrument. But that's not it's not a bad piano until you hold on to it and you hear that. But we're used to, I'm going to hold that for a minute. We're used to multi-gig sampled sounds now. We're used to physical modelling. I mean, some of the software instruments we've got for creating realistic sounds of real instruments surpass even the wildest dreams of the JV1080. And certainly, the brief of make it everything to everyone in one box. We don't need to do that anymore. And I don't think we do that anymore. Maybe that's a bad thing. Maybe that's the charm of the Rompler box. Maybe that's what it is. I mean, I'd quite like to get, I've got this SR, Wave Station SR there. I'd quite like to get an 01W in here. I don't know if I'd get the keyboard on the desk, but I'd certainly like to investigate those keyboards, the ones that came after the M1. I mean, the Korg T3 was the next synth, wasn't it? The T3, which I think doubled everything, and then the 01W came after that, famously used by Genesis, or advertised by Genesis, on the back of Sound on Sound. I think Gaz and I will certainly remember those magazines being thrown around. Hey Rustic, how you doing? Yeah, we had a big shout out to INKY at the beginning, so you might want to just go back to the beginning and have a listen to that. For sure. Yeah, so ultimately, having a piano might not be my first choice of any instrument to use in a track, but if you maybe layer it up with another sound. So back to the idea of sounds, and I don't, like I say, I've wanted one of these for an awfully long time, and I got one, and I think it's sat on the shelf up there because I just needed to sort the shelves out. I needed to sort the tables out. So I've done a lot of work this summer in improving the studio so I can feature a lot of different instruments. And I think it's one of those things that really allows me to share it with you. So now I've turned this on. I played with it on the weekend. It infuriated me because it's like, how do I change the sound? I managed to get it into performance mode, so I could get my drums. It's a horrible drum sound, isn't it? Let's just listen to that as a beat, shall we? That's Christian drums. I don't know what that was. I didn't program that in. Oh, maybe I did. And then you've got choirs of angels. I think this contains more than one sound. I don't think we've got anything else. I don't know that tap. Don't know that at all. But, somebody did. There's something a little bit Bowie, Berlin era about this sound with the sort of wind. V2, is it? Of Heroes. I was actually almost did Star Trek. Okay, stop. This is too much. Okay, so we've got those. Pressure sensitivity as well as in there, so does lots of things. I think there's a second episode in this, and I need to spend time with this, and I need to learn how to synthesize with it. Now, there's obviously lots of software editors for this, so I think I'm going to invest time getting that set up, get the computer logged in so we can see it on the screen and we can see what we're doing, because I think editing through this it's a little bit awkward. So orange patch, common. Oh, hello, nothing. Oh, that's because let's get a sound that we might like. I mean, pardon. See? I can't. That wasn't me. That was the controller. Yeah. Well, back to Jaws. It's just some horrible sounds in there. And then there's... Yeah, it's not Hammond. That's not what they sound like. You know. I'm sure it compares well to the D50 organ sound, but you know, that's got a charm of its own, because it's not sampled. Yes, I will do. Sorry, I'm losing it. Right, just at this point, let's talk about upcoming synth events. Okay, so in a week's time, we'll be getting ready to go to SynthFest UK in Sheffield. I'll be there, presuming everything's all right with that still. I've got my ticket, so I've definitely got entry into the complex. So that'll be good to see as many of you there as possible. I'll be going worrying people for their gear, because I'm going to try and get some freebies to sort of showcase here, or at least some loaners. After the event, there's a dinner hosted by ProSynth Network. I think I'll put a link to the page in Facebook on the description here, so you can sort of, if you're interested, $10 deposit, I think it is, and go and hang with some cool people. Yeah, there you go. That's it. So yeah, do that, and then, Cressy, good. I'm glad. Heartfelt, mate. Heartfelt, absolutely. So yeah, 2 weeks later, in the locale, we have Bristronica. Robbie, I don't know at the moment. I need to figure out what I'm doing with whom. It's a bit vague. I'm sorry. Right now, it kind of feels 1 week later. What do you mean 1 week later? When? A Turkish restaurant. So 1 week, I'm confused now. When is anything? I know, right, okay, let's get this out as well. So if we need to shout for in between SynthFest, before SynthFest, there's also this next week back here, all of you, bring more drinks of your choice. We're going to do a birthday special. It's my birthday. So feel free to join me for the birthday episode next week. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do yet, but we'll have some fun, no doubt. So then the SynthFest, where I will be trying to hook up with Phil Oakey and who's 25 this year. Cressy, 25. Who also shares the same birthday as me. Sting won't be there. He also does. But there we go as well. And Susie, who is a big... if you watch my video on SynthFest from last year, Susie's interviewed in that. Susie's an awesome human who I'm happy to call a friend. And she and I share the same birthday. So lots of October 2 kiddies in SynthFest. But Bristronica is 2 days. So it's the 5th of October. Yeah, that's right. Bristronica. Oh. So I might actually have to figure out how I do the 12th then, because I'm going to have E with me. She didn't like it last time. I think she found the noise a little bit difficult. My IQ is 21. Mine's 12. 12 is good. 12 is happy. How are we doing with our drinks, guys? So, an IRA Compact JV1080, you would deserve one, but Roland doesn't have that one yet. Shame on Roland. Boo, yeah. Do you know, I like the idea of those IRAs, and I do. I would want maybe the D50. That's not the same thing. I know, not the same line, but I think of all the vintage things that they've done, I think the D50 is probably one of those. And that, again, that's as much to do with the music I like that it's made than owning one and seeing where it would go. I mean, that and the DX7 together. Oh, I mean, come on, dirty stuff. So, So, and if you're at Bristronica, do say hi. Do say hi. Right. But we've got more chat to be going on with. We've got more compact D5, yeah. The boutique, isn't it? The boutique D5, yeah. But lots of other things going on. SynthFest on the 5th and Bristronica on the 12th. I need to sort myself out for Bristronica, but I'm sure I can do that as well. It's so close. Andrew Brooks, there are synthesizers that aren't analog. That's all I'm saying. Do you know, I'm a big digital fan. Oh, hello. Oh, Foxy Brown. Lost her ears. So, what I'm going to do is, it's 10 to 9. We've nearly played the hour. Step outside. We're going to little... So, I don't know how to change the tones, but you've got your tone switches here to change those sounds. And that's what I'd like to do in another one. But performance-wise... I don't know about that. I don't know about that either. What is it with that clicky front end? Why does anybody think that's a good idea? I know. I think the thing with FM is that it's not as immediately rewarding as analog, and there is a learning curve. Though I sold my TX81Z the week I got it, not the week I bought it, the week I understood it. It was literally, I'd already put it on for sale, and then I was still playing with it, and suddenly it's like, oh, I get it. And then the next day, someone comes and picks it up, leaving me with this really hollow feeling inside. It's like, what have I done? And then I sold my TX802. I mean, what have I done? Part 2. But I didn't use that. I wasn't making as much music, and I think now I would definitely have space for it. But, there are new, exciting... I know I'm a plonker. I am. But you know what it's like? Robbie, we've been around. We've seen things. We've played things. We've owned things. You can't keep everything you've owned. You can't own everything you've bought and still have space to buy more. You have to cut things loose and replace it. Now, I was about to... There's a lot of hand movement there. I was about to get rid of my Digitone until I whipped it out a couple of weeks ago. And jeez. Oh, that's not... No, that's not the right one. I wanted... No, where is it? I want the... There you go. So that's... Jason Maggs, where is he? Where is Jason Maggs? To answer me that, chat room. Where is he? But anyway, you know, I put it out, and actually, for me, and this may be your back in Andrew Brooks, is that you can adjust curated parameters to create new sounds, or you can manipulate the sounds, and actually it's really rewarding. I did it on the jam on Sunday that you were too ill to watch, so go back and watch it. I've chaptered it so you can, you know, just hop in the jam. 20 minutes, I think, 15, 20 minutes. It's not a long one. And you see it's just getting you into those parameters, which you can't do in a DX7, TX802, TX817, any of those stuff. The vintage, you can't do it. The Digitone gives you that, and it gives you effects, and it gives you a filter. So actually, it could be the one. And it's good. It is good. I've seen things you wouldn't believe. Yes, attack ships on the Photoshop. I've seen... I know this. I know it too well. Anyway, I'm not going to... I've seen C-beams glisten and dance. All those moments will be gone, like tears in the rain. That's it. D-beams glittering in the dark. Yeah, that's what I was trying to get to. There we go. So, getting back to the JV1080, we know why it came. We know what it did for the world. We know where it ended up, and it was slathered in every pop tune as well. And rightly so. Today, you know, we need this today. We need this more than ever, because the music world is so awash with fabulous new analog synths, fabulous new modular systems that can go places that we couldn't dream of. Half the stuff, you know, that modular can do. And I think jamming in gym jams this week is going to be modular. Has to be. I miss it. I miss playing with it. Anyway, that's jamming in gym jams. But ultimately, you know, this lends something you don't get anywhere else, I don't think. Outside of software. Forget software. I'm talking about hardware. I don't know any other synth that can give us these kind of things. And I'm gonna play a few patches. Bit of a sampler guy of late. Okay. Oh, we can do samplers now. We can get my S5. I don't think there's enough rack space for an S5000. No. That's 4U. There's only 3U in there. What was I thinking? I've got an FZ10 as well. I love the FZ10. That would be, well, this is Mark 1 desk, right? And as you see, one key. I think Mark 2's bigger and has more rack space. Anyway, so I'm going to play through some of the sounds that I've enjoyed, just to sort of like remind us why we should have one of these. And if we are, FZ1. That was a really good sampler, the FZ1. You know, and I sold my FZ1 for an SZ10M, and then years later sold it, obviously, and then years later bought one off eBay for 60 quid. The one I got here. So that needs that needs to pay its rent now. Right, let's get rid of that nasty business. Right, so patches, was it patches? User, 15. We've done that one already. 21, we've done that one as well. 38. 61 Hut. If you've got your headphones on, there's like a rain stick being jammed through your brain. Fifth Element, yeah. Who designed that? Who thought, yeah, I'm going to do this? Anyway, they did it. I want to know. I want to shake that person by the hand. That sounds like 80s film score Vangelis, doesn't it? I kind of like that. Obviously not on its own, but maybe on its own as well. A little bit of, maybe that sort of reminded me of a, not the slide I just did then, Akira kind of vibes. No. A lot of the sounds that say techno, it's like the person's never heard techno. That's not techno. That's not the one I meant. I meant this one. Ah, Killing Fields. Yes, Mike Oldfield. Thanks, Sam. Yeah, definitely. Eric Persing. No, I'm not going to finish that one. Taj Mahal. D50 stack. 80s pop music. There we go, guys. You know, all the best pop songs of the 80s had a keyboard intro, right? Didn't they? Good keyboard intro. That would be a fantastic addition to any 80s flavoured pop song. That's not good. I'm sorry. These aren't the sounds I've noted. I'm just being, I don't know. You know when you flick through something and you think, that's silly. But there is also something this is. All right. And Sonic. Talk to me about that in the end, Peter. Yeah. Nice. That's called Dunes. Straight away after Dunes, you've got... Oh, actually, is that the one? Yes. But it's like X-Files kind of vibes, you know? Right. Tortured. Bass marim. No, stop it. Oh, and you know these sounds. Have I noted this one? Oh, yeah, I think it's because I wanted to talk. You know, there was a period of time where Pipeworks on the D. Is it Pipeworks on the D50 or was that the D20 that had Pipeworks? Pipeworks. There's the Wave Station. All did this kind of weird evolving. It didn't really evolve, but you know, rhythmic kind of sequence that would change pitch with the key, but would not change tempo, right? Depeche Mode, isn't it? So instant Depeche Mode of this era. Or 9 Inch Nails. Let's face it, they wanted to be Depeche Mode anyway. So, yeah. Trent Reznor. Yeah. You got there, Em. I see. I knew you'd be thinking it. I wonder, wouldn't it be interesting if it did? I might do a little fake. I'd love to do back in the 90s, I did flirt heavily with the idea of doing sort of industrial metal songs, but yeah, maybe I should visit that period of my life again. It's not me anymore, but I mean, it might be fun to do that. Something with vocals. Oh, do you know what? Do you know where I could do that? Hardware jams. You see, that's why everybody needs hardware jams in their life, because it gives you an opportunity to do things that may be outside your wheelhouse. Yeah, you know, absolute Ministry. I'm a big Ministry fan as well. So all that kind of era of, you know, guitar, or not with guitar, but synth-driven sort of rock music, you know. It's online, open mic pub. Oh, it's the online open mic pub. Did it find it out? Yes, indeed. Yeah, I think I will. My next entry will be industrial with vocals. Anyway, so they're the only sounds I kind of really orbit to pad. I wonder if this is going to be something. It's 1989. It is 1989. 1989. So, you know, I think this really is one of those synths that you can use the presets. There are people online still selling their own presets for it, and I might delve and purchase some of those, because I think it would be rude not to. But I wanna make my own sounds. How the hell? How do you know? Yeah, I think. Well, I think if I'm going to do hardware jams with Richard Burton, I do a bit of Under Milkwood. It is a synth, actually, Andy. It is a synth, because whilst it is sample based, it has a seriously big synthesizer engine on the other side of it. I tried to tap into that. So your waveforms are sample based, but you can have 4 partials per patch, which means that you can layer it, which is where this string with the timpani comes from. So you imagine you can have, you know, things like you can have a saw tooth, you can have a sample of a string, you can have a percussive sound, you can have some white noise. You can mix that together, and then each of them, I think you have the option of, I think there are more amplifiers. I think you might be able to have an amplifier. When I looked at it last night, and I went, because I was obviously listening to hardware jams as well, but I was also trying to set up and sort of be present in both realms. Hardware jams got one last night, really, but I looked at it, and there was a sort of a diagram which looked more like the sort of algorithm of an FM synth. I thought, what the heck is this? So I think you can perhaps have 2 partials per voice. So if you imagine each tone is made of 4 partials, I think you can have dual filter and envelope per thing. So you can have all sorts of things evolving and being brought in. So you can create some really interesting textured sounds, which is why then throw a load of effects on the end of it. So which is why you've got these really expensive sounding, you know, atmospheric pads and things. And that, I think, for me, is why I wanted the JV. I wanted that expansive, evolving, sort of big, but not in a way that floods the mix that you're doing. And I think, that's something you don't often get. I mean, I've got, Tom's wonderful fuse box there is fat. It steals everything. It's like, I'm here. Sometimes you want that in your face, but then you need to drop it back. But you need something there. So the wash. So I think I want to jam with the fuse box while I've still got it, because I've got to take that back to SynthFest. Damn it! The diggy tone again. I haven't got a big enough table for this, but maybe I'll just wedge it up there. Maybe I'll put it in vertical mode so that the so I can put it just sort of wedged here. So that'll be the fuse box, and have the diggy tone here. Just get a lot of movement going on there, and bring a I've got to do that then, haven't I? That's going to be the next jamming in gym jazz, because otherwise I'm not going to have that, am I? Unless I just don't take it back. I forgot. The dog ate my homework. My sister was going to bring it in later. My mum's going to bring it in later. I don't know. Homework excuses. Remember we did that a couple of weeks ago? So, I think that's the beauty of the JV is exactly that. Dog ate my JV. I wouldn't want to play Robert Plant's solo album. Which one? Just, not good sounds. I don't think it was a JV. It was before that. It was an 80s one, but it probably was something like a synclavier. Just horrible. House piano. It's horrible. It's not, and then you've got Fooled Again. So, who? Right. Does everybody know where that the Who Fooled Again came from? Won't Get Fooled Again. Is that right? I'm going to get this wrong now. It was an organ through the filter section of his VCO3. Yeah. Anyway, gotta love the Who for actually Pete Townsend as a synthesizer pioneer. He's there. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's right. I did some research on that for a video a while ago, so it's still in there. We fill ourselves, but yeah, the organ. I can't remember the name of the organ, but it was something, just a regular kind of organ, which he then just held the cord down and was getting the filter was being modulated by an LFO, I think, and the sound was going into the into the audio input of the VCO3. So VCO3. Shut up, Jervis. You know what I'm talking about. Lowry organ. No, it's not an ARP 2500. That's what he used live. But yes, that rings a bell. I think he took out the 2500, and there's definitely a video of Pete Townsend showing you what he did with an ARP 2500, but he used a VCS3. Anyway, thanks for popping back up, Gaz. Right, horrible sounds. There's some horrid sounds. Right, okay, but Gaz, this is for you. Doesn't that sound like a real bass? Oh dear. Wide and tubular bells. That's for you, Em. Yeah, it does. I mean, you wouldn't know the difference between that and an alembic bass worth £10,000. Oh, God. Do you know, I mean, you've got to put up with these sounds. You really have. And there's a lot of awful sounds, but... You turn me on like a shooting star. Simple Minds, they had some great songs. And again, good keyboards. I remember I had a conversation recently about being in it was literally today. DT, it wasn't DT. I did tech drawing, and more than half of the people there were really into Simple Minds, and I'm like, oh, rubbish. I loved Queen. That was my favourite band, Queen. Like, I love Queen. But also, it's like that we just argued about music, and I thought today, isn't that wonderful? It was annoying at the time because, God, Queen are brilliant. Have you ever heard, this song with this guitar and this keyboard part? It's amazing. It just blows you away. And they're like, what? We're arguing about music. People don't do that anymore, do they? Do that because there's nothing, what have we got to argue about? I mean, we can argue about stuff because we can say, hey, auto-tune, no thanks. But actually bands playing their own instruments, singing their songs, there are no bands. There are no bands. There are no bands. There are hardly any bands. I mean, there's got to be some bands, but, so for young'uns, they're screwed. Bring back the band. We need a new season. It is the season of the band. Oh, I've almost finished my coffee. It's 9:15. How did that happen? Yeah, okay. Yeah, fair enough, Wiggy. Yeah, of course there are. Of course, the band's never died. It's just, I guess the culture and, in fact, probably oh, God, here we go. I'm going to say this is going to ruffle some feathers. I don't think music is as important as it was. And I think that's deliberate. Because music motivates. Music collects people, unifies people. Nobody wants that. It's dangerous. So, no, and I think some of the horrible things on Spotify. I mean, we know Spotify is evil. It is evil. So yeah, there are bands out there, and I've seen some good stuff fairly recently, but keep it small. And I think you're right. The bigger kind of things. Yeah, dub bass. I love dub bass. I went through a whole phase of dub bass on everything. Anyway, maybe we'll do that one week. We'll get the bass guitar. I've got bass guitar. I've got 2 bass guitars. Ooh, I want to buy a bass guitar. I want to buy another bass guitar. Anyway, maybe I'll do that, an orange one. So, cancel your Spotify accounts now. It's evil. Yeah, it's evil. Evil. Spotify is evil. Unfortunately, when I had Saxondale mode on... So, yeah, gotta love Saxondale. Gotta love Saxondale. Saxondale is like, he's like with Alan Partridge. It's just it's a thin veneer away from the front of Jervis. Saxondale's always there. I was a roadie. How can I not be? Even my tour manager, James, when he saw Saxondale, he went, "You're on TV." It's like, what are you talking about? And I watched it. It's like, oh, okay. That's me, is it? So Saxondale is always a little bit, I think it's just the whole, Steve Coogan thing. I think it's there. Anyway. So, was that Pink Floyd or was it Genesis? Pink Floyd or Genesis? Anyway, I do love that. And also... Was it Led Zeppelin he used to... No, it was Deep Purple. And Deep Purple are the better band. Deep Purple are the better band. Deep Purple or Led Zeppelin in the comments below. If you're watching this post event, please put your comments afterwards. I mean... Houses of the Holy is my favourite Led Zeppelin album. And I rinsed that album out lots. But it's got maybe one awful track on it. And I think all Led Zeppelin albums have at least one awful track on it. Deep Purple? Probably not. One bad track. But also, John Lord. Not just as the phenomenal Hammond player that he is, and I'm a big fan of his Hammond chops. His use of the ARP Odyssey, superb. What's the song that's almost... Oh, which album? Right, I can't remember it, but there's a track that he does which is very... It's compound time signature, I think it's 12/8. Dung, 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 dung. And it's very classical, but it's almost like it's an instrumental track that they did. I think Coverdale era, so, you know, Mark IV. Anyway, look, we're talking again. We're talking about stuff, music. I'm watering on Alice Bowie, yes. Strange Kind of Woman. That was one of my first songs. We did it in a kind of like baggy 80s style. Maybe I need to dig that out. Once was a woman, Sting Gillan. I can't. Oh, but John Lord's first solo album, Sarah Band, is cracking as well. Orchestral. Jeez, what a musician, you know? And a player. Charts are a thing, you know. I mean, you're in a countless band, Nick. Destruct, nice. No money. That's the point I think I was making when I said that it's been devalued, is that there is no... And I think streaming services, who clearly are making money because they wouldn't be doing what they do, are not paying the artists properly, and therefore the artists have to work and make music, you know? Yeah. That coffee's really kept me going to like pizza. It has. It really has. It really has. And that's good. So it's not worth... Yeah. There's not... Yeah. Yeah. There's now worth in music in 2024. And we have to change that. And we do, don't we? The more music there is in the world, the happier the place is. I did see OMD one. Better than New Order, the same night. Of course, new OMD famously from Chester, which is very close to where Gaz and I are from. And that's quite a big insult to people from our locale, was if you didn't like them, you'd say they were born in Chester. So I'm going to finish off now because I am just wittering on and I need to sort of do some chores before going to bed. And I do need another early night. I'm still sniffles, but I'm definitely better. So by the end of the weekend, I should be fine. It's just this kind of like infection in my face. They're not Birkenhead. They're from Chester. Birkenhead. No. I could be wrong. I always thought they were from Chester. No. Something's got to come from Chester, right? Apart from the Romans keeping the Welsh out. I might try and get Resnoid. Where's... Oh, that Pat Performance. Right, let's see if I can get a little jam going. Oh, God almighty. I can't remember how to use it. It's like literally using it all day Sunday. I can't remember. It's not stuck. So, thanks, everybody. Don't forget to press the like button on the video, even if it's afterwards, if it's now. Subscribe if you don't already do so. I know lots of you are coming to the channel, so welcome aboard. And if you're watching this in the background, welcome to the world of synth with GetJervis. Lots more content's going to be on the way. Obviously, streaming twice a week on a Sunday evening at 10 p.m. UK and a Tuesday at 8 p.m. It's going to be a bit tricky the next couple of weeks because, of course, we've got lots of synth events, but I'm going to keep doing this. And in the meantime, I'm going to do some stuff, some proper content to camera, and also maybe do some jams as well, because that was kind of fun too. So that's it for tonight. Like, subscribe, share and enjoy. I'm going to play some awful heavy metal sounds. I'm not. What did I do that for? Oh, come on. See, that, it's not working, is it? Let's just go back to the Dune one, I think. Was it 64? Oh. Tortured. No, 61. Big thanks, INKY. Oh, that was rude.
I was hoping it would let me just.
Yeah, thank you, Peter, and thank you. Oh, that's very Jar. Underrated album, Rendezvous.